Hey everybody, finally, it's time for a Warband battle report. I know you've been waiting for it. I know you're excited for it, so here we go. Um, this was a solo play just to get the game out on the table, recorded in pictures, and just to give you a battle report. I did play another game the same night, and I will be doing a battle report for that as well. But here we go. This is the first one. Let me know how you feel about it. Let me know if you're cool with the different pictures and these battle chronicler images and all that stuff. My narrative. Let me know. I do know that there are a number of mistakes that I made. Not too many, just a little handful. Some things that I forgot, some things that I did in the wrong order, what have you. I'll mention them as I go along. Nothing too big. Generally, this is the way that the game turned out and the way it should have turned out, but, we all make those little mistakes. At the top, you see the barbarian men for the first time out on the field. A bunch of warriors in the back. That's 5 units of warriors. Then there are 2 bison rider units, 2 mammoths, and in the center, a chieftain. No shaman in this army list. At the bottom, you'll see that near the very center is a giant. He is flanked by 4 units of goblin warriors. Behind them is a boss and a shaman, just giving them their support. You know, the goblins, they're not going to lead from the front like the barbarians. There are also 2 units of archers and then a bolt thrower. And I packed them all together so I could try out group moves. And it's it's a rule that it's a good rule. But it's hit and miss because if you fail at your roll, you're not going to be moving. Anyway, before we get to that, let's just take a look at the table. So I've mentioned before that scaling the game down to what I use 60 by 30 millimeter bases, you can definitely play on a much smaller area than 6 by 4. Here I've got a table that is 28 inches wide or deep, and I forget how many long, but definitely smaller than 6 by 4, and I definitely did not use the entire board. The space between those 2 armies. Sorry, there's a motorcycle that uh, just started up outside, and he'll go away in a sec. Anyway, the distance between those 2 armies are the required 6 base widths apart from each other. So that's cool. That's how far they should be apart from each other, and they're all packed in the center. So there is a bunch of space that was not used from on each side. But again, this is an island in the middle of a kitchen. This is, a much smaller space than a large table. You could even play it on a smaller table, 4 by 4, even 3 by 3. So here are the orcs and goblins, fully arrayed and ready to go, and the barbarian men. Look at those mammoths. Look at them towering above, and you can see the bison riders. It's a cool army. There's definitely very happy with it. I thought later maybe I should have done different basing for them, more like desert, but I'm just going to base everyone in the same way, and yeah, that uniform look to everyone is cool. Yep, so here are the 2 battle lines preparing. They're facing off against each other, ready to go. And here's a look from the goblin side at the menacing barbarians. And here's the barbarian side looking at those goblins and orcs. So here's that setup again. There's a deployment. And from there we go on. Turn 1. So at the beginning of the turn, you roll for initiative, and you add your commander's rating, and there's nothing added. Sometimes it's +1 or +2. Could even be a minus, a negative, but you roll off your initiative. Then you will roll for command points, and you can see that behind the boss on the left. He got 5 command points. He was a D6 +2. You can see, yeah, that shouldn't be a 1 on the shaman over there. He probably had more. Well, we'll see that in a sec. I think I took this picture after I had maybe used some of that already, some of his magic, but he's supposed to get D6 +1, I believe. Anyway, so you roll your command points, and you roll your magic points, and you give them to your commander and your shaman or wizard, whatever you have, and they'll be using that later in the game. The barbarian chieftain, he got 6 points. That was d6 plus 2, so he rolled a 4 and got 2 more, so he got 6 command points. And this is what the movement looked like on the very first turn. The group move was successful. The Orcs and Goblins got 2 successes, so that means everyone in the Orcs and Goblin army, because they're all packed together, they all get to move at 2 successes. Now, for most units that aren't moving fast, that is 2 base widths total, but for the Giant, that's up to 4 base widths. I think when I started moving them, I may not have moved them as they got 2 successes. I think I only got one, quote-unquote, 1 success for them. When I actually moved them, I think I made a mistake there. So, but they did move up. The Giant rushed forward, so he's running up ahead. The rest of the army kind of came together and filled in that little space that the Giant left behind, and the Bolt Thrower shuffled up a little bit and aimed at the Barbarians. And there's the Giant leading the charge with a bunch of are these no, these are not trolls, these are ogres. Yes, Giants and ogres, and the ogres are flanking, and there's a little goblin dude saying, "Let's do this." The Barbarians got 1 success on their group move. Remember that, because that's not going to happen very often. And so with that successful move, the Mammoths came into the center, and the Bison Riders flanked them, and the rest of the dudes on foot just moved ahead a little bit. Then we go into shooting. Now, because of the way the armies kind of clicked into the middle, the archers on the left, they were able to get a shot off at the Barbarian warrior unit at the very far left. And they were within range. They have to be within range 4, and they were just within range. They took a shot, and even with a couple bonus dice from the commander's command points, they only got 1 hit. The other archers took a couple of extra command points to get a couple extra shots off, and they got 2 hits. Oh, you're looking for 4s, by the way. I think I did mention this before, but you're looking for 4s. And then the Bolt Thrower got a bunch of extra dice, 3 extra dice, and they only got 2 hits. But these are powerful hits, which means that the defense, the protection value of the target goes down by 1 if there's at least 1 successful hit. So there were 2 hits. This is the defense roll, the protection roll. Now, the Barbarians have 1 protection. That's 1 die looking for a 4. Most units have 2, maybe even more. Dwarves have 3 dice. Goblins have 2, but the Barbarian warriors only have a 1. So they had to borrow 3 command points out of those 6, and it took them 4 dice to get there. So they did manage to save that 1 wound, which was good. Sorry about the sideways photo, but on the other side, the other Barbarian unit that took 4 hits altogether, 2 from the archers and 2 from the Bolt Thrower, they got 4 extra dice. Does that make sense? Did I cheat here? I may have cheated here. Hold on. 4, 5. Yeah, I think I totally cheated. Anyway, these Barbarians managed to block 3 of the hits somehow, and they took 1 wound. Wow, I did the math wrong with this. Maybe was I tired? No, it was the middle of the day. I couldn't have been tired. Anyway, they ended up taking 1 wound from those hits. They took 1 wound, so their morale value went from 4 down to 3, and they're still at full strength until they get down to 0 morale. Then they start running. Something that's cool about this game, I know other games have this, but you are full strength until you actually start running away. So that's good. That means your units will stay on the board and do what they need to do until they are way too scared and start fleeing the table. It doesn't mean it's a longer game. So I did play Dragon Rampant the other day, and in the span of an evening got to play 2 games, whereas with Warband, that's the time for 1 game. Not a bad thing. At least I'm finishing these games. Didn't used to finish the Warhammer Fantasy games. Being able to finish a game in a night with Warband, I love it. So this is what it looks like with all the hits, and you can see there are 4 hits on the one side with 1 wound taken, and 1 hit on the other side, but that was defended. Now, what you see here, I took a lot of mental notes and pictures at the beginning of the game, and slowly I started losing my my focus and my detail. So yeah, not going to see that much detail in the upcoming turns, but at least in the next turn, I think it's pretty good. So initiative roll for the second turn. The black is the barbarian die, and the blue is the orcs and goblins die. So the barbarians have initiative, and this is what the game, what the field looks like. It looks like the barbarians got 4 command points. It looks like 7 command points or magic points for the shaman. That's going to be bad. And 8 command points for the orc boss. Ugh, that's a really good roll, set of rolls for the orcs and goblins. However, here are the mammoths and the bisons ready to charge in, and they look like they want to crash into that ogre, or the giant rather. And they do. So here you can see the 2 mammoths crash right into the giant, and one of the bison riders crashes into the warrior unit, number 4 over there. The other bison rider fails his charge, so he doesn't even move. In a counter charge, one of the warrior units for the orcs and goblins rushes up and smashes into the mammoth unit on the left. As you can see, nobody else moves. A few failed moves. Definitely the big block of barbarians, they didn't move because I rolled 2 dice, didn't get any 4s, and you can't add command points when you are doing a group move. Blah. So they did not move. Bolt thrower like that, he didn't get to move, but he was still aiming at that warrior unit. Oh, 2 mistakes that I made here. One was, rules-wise, that warrior unit that took 4 hits on the last turn, he should have been moved back, because when you take 2 or more hits, you actually kind of recoil a base width backwards at a later point in the turn, and I forgot to do that. However, if I had, he probably would have. I would have had to move, and he would have moved up to the exact same spot. So I did make a mistake there, but it's okay. Not game changing. The other mistake that I kind of made was I totally forgot that Bison Rider unit, who is now hitting the Warrior unit, he's actually also touching Warrior Unit 3 and Archer Unit 2 because their corners are touching. So my bad. In the upcoming combat, I don't actually have the warriors and the archers attacking the bison riders, which was my bad. But in you following the rules, those 3 goblin units will be attacking the bison rider unit. So bit of a mistake there. So in a real situation, you would not want to have that bison rider attack that unit because it'd be a 3-on-1. Anyway, let's see. This is, oh yeah. So the goblins that you can see that had crashed into the mammoth, they failed their motivation rolls to get in, and so I gave them 2 command points and then another command. I took 3 command points to get them charging in. So you can see I rolled 5 dice and 2 of them finally made it. So they did make it into the mammoth, but it was at a bit of a cost. And this is what the battlefield looks like once all those charges and moves have been made. That little red cube is to remind me that the Bison Riders got a direct charge. So if you are aiming at an enemy unit and you charge into them, because they're in your front, not arc, but in your front corridor, directly in front of your base, then you will get a bonus die, attack die. Now, because the Bison Riders are fierce, just like the Giant and the Mammoths, they get a bonus die. So they're actually going to get 2 extra dice on the attack. But I mark it with that little cube for now. And here's this big combat. As you can see, there's another cube there to show me that the mammoths are crashing into the ogre. And I think the goblins did not get a direct charge because they were not directly or the mammoth was not directly in front of them when they charged in. There's another angle. It's going to be a cool battle. Look how big those guys are. That's a lot of large models compared to the rest. But we go to shooting. The archers on the left completely miss the warriors, and you can kind of tell, but the because of the angle, the Bison Riders are not in the front corridor of the shooters in the shooting lane, so they have to hit the warriors, but they miss. Even worse, look at this. So this was a 2 and a 2, a 1 and a 1. So these archers also miss their target warrior unit, but the bolt thrower does land 2 hits on that warrior unit, so they're going to take 2 hits. And again, these are powerful, which knock down the defense rating of the target. And after combat, these are all the hits that were taken. The giant takes 5 hits, and because they comes from the mammoths, they are powerful. The mammoth also takes mammoth number 1 takes 2 hits from the giant, also powerful. I didn't mark it there, but it is also a powerful hit. The Bison Riders do 3 points of damage to the warrior unit, but they take 2 back, and the bolt thrower dealt 2 wounds, powerful wounds, to the warrior unit up on the right. I just want to show you, this is what the army roster looks like. If you look in the kind of in the very center there, Bison Riders, they have 3d6 attack dice in their melee column. They also have Fierce, which again gives them another bonus die when they do a direct charge. So that's 5 dice. Look at that, 5 dice, and they get 3 hits. The Warriors only get 2 dice, but they land 2 sixes, which is fantastic, higher than a 4. There's the Giant, who's taken 5 wounds. There's that Mammoth, who's taken 2. And again, this is what it looks like after shooting and combat. So what another mistake I made, I forgot once again to move some guys back. Now I don't think I moved the warrior number 5 unit back. The ones that got hit by the bolt thrower, I don't think I moved them back. I also didn't add an extra hit on the goblin warrior 4 unit. If you can't recoil when you take 2 hits, you actually take another automatic hit. So the Bison Rider should have moved backwards, and the warrior units should have taken an extra hit because they couldn't move back into the shaman unit. The giant does move back, and I think the mammoth unit moves back, so I think I do that properly. Oh yeah, remember the goblin shaman? He got 7 magic points this turn. That's going to be really, really bad, and I'll show you why. See that spell called Consuming Rage? It costs 6 MP, and there's a few different options, but one of the options is all enemy units within 4 base widths of the shaman take 3 automatic hits, and the shaman takes 4 automatic hits. If the shaman unit is routed, he actually just disappears. He doesn't have a chance to get rallied. But all units within 4 base widths of the shaman take 3 automatic hits. What does that look like? It looks like bad. Now, again, another mistake. All those extra little cubes, I actually put 4 on all the barbarians that got hit instead of 3. It should be 3. In the next slide, I will show you 3 instead. I fixed that, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 units get hit with that, and that Consuming Rage is a horrible, horrible spell. It is a killer. It makes it really difficult to face the goblins when if they roll, what was it, 6 MP? It's bad. What is this? Oh, this was the defense of the shaman. He rolls 1 die normally for defense, and he took 4 hits, so I had to defend the crap out of him. So I spent 5 command points from the general just to save him. I didn't have to give him, save him down to 2 points. I could have saved him down to 1 point, but I spent an extra 5 points to get 6 dice, and I only got 2 saves. So he went from 4, 4 morale down to 2. Alright, so see all those little skulls? Those are all the morale drops that happened. Even with the... yeah, I think I did this right. I may have made some mistakes here, but this is what could have happened. So all those little bursts are the hits that they took in the end, and all of the skulls are the morale drops. And you can see the giant drop down 4 spots. The mammoths drop down 3 and 2 spots. The Bison Riders, number 1, who wasn't even in combat, lost 3 steps. The Chieftain lost 3 steps because he had to share his command points. The warriors up at the top, they lost a couple, and the warriors at the bottom, they lost, and the shaman lost. And after moves, oh yeah, so people did. Oh yeah, they did move back. Never mind, I did make a mistake at the bottom. The shaman moved back as well. So everyone who was supposed to recoil did. There's the giant pushing back into his own lines, and here you can see the Bison Riders are fleeing. They took so many hits, and they did not save any. And actually, I didn't show it on that slide with the skulls, but they didn't save any of their hits, so they were flying. So they are now on the run. And look at the damage. Yeesh. There I am. Turn 3. So here's turn 3. You can see I've already moved units. The Orcs and Goblins got the initiative, so the giant and those warrior units have smashed forward. You can see the Bison Riders at the top of the screen. That's where they ended up after fleeing, but they will be rallied. Spoiler alert, I don't want them to die. And the rest of the Goblin army, they're going to move up. They're going to move up ahead, whereas the rest of the barbarians are not going to move. The only unit that does move is that one warrior unit at the very side. I want them out of the range of the bolt thrower. So I did move them separately, and they moved out of the way, and they just made it out. And there you go. That's what just happened. So the archers got a little boost, and they got 2 hits on that warrior unit. This was this was the giant. Because he has fierce, he starts with 4 dice and got an extra 2 dice for direct charge and fierce, and he landed 4 hits on that mammoth, who is sitting on 2 wounds, or 2 morale left. That's going to be bad. What was I showing here? Oh, that's just another shot. And here are all the wounds, not the wounds, but the hits that were divvied around. As you can see, the mammoth in the middle did not even touch the giant. He did not hit him back. The Bison Riders got 2 on the warriors, 1 on the Bison Riders, 1 on the other guys, 1 on the other guys there. So very lackluster for that poor mammoth. Actually, both mammoths kind of sucked. And the shaman has 5 magic points, and I don't show it, but he used the war cry, which gives all of the units within, I don't know if it's all of the friendly units or in a certain area, gives them +1 melee and resolute, which means they don't recoil. You can see there's a few losses of morale there. A bunch of hits, but not so much. The arrows are confusing, but I actually, when I was making the slides, I totally screwed up. These are the slides. These are the movements from the next turn. So you can see that the Orcs and Goblin army is going to move up, and the Barbarian army finally makes their group move, and they have a lot of, I think, 2 successes, so they are moving around. And you can see the Bison Riders at the very top, they were rallied, so they're back in the game. Alright, we're almost done, guys. What do we have here? Yeah, this is just the turn. Things are happening. You can see that the barbarians are being pushed back a little bit. 2 magic points, no, yeah, 2 magic points over there, I guess, and then 5 command points, and then 4 command points for the barbarians. Back to this. This is the movement. Don't worry about all the hits and stuff. That was from last turn. These are the movements. This is what we see. Once again, the giant who followed through and pursued the mammoth gets another 2 hits now on 6 dice. Not as good as 4. And the mammoth actually does 3 back, and then there's a few other hits divvied around there. This is, let's see, there's 5. Who gets 5 hits? Oh, 3 hits. No, so this is the giant, and he is rolling 2 down to 2 dice. So I need to use 3 command points to save him, and I do, because he was sitting on 1 morale. If he took 1 more wound, he would be running. So 3 points to save him, and it worked. And that's the battle line at the end of that turn, and we're getting near the end. I'm showing you that again for some reason. Oh yes, this is what it looks like at the end of that turn. So you can see that the barbarians are sliding around, they're moving around, ready for the last turn for turn number 6. Is this turn number 6? What turn? What are we on right now? I have no idea what's happening here. I am so lost. See, this is what I'm saying. By this time, this was like 2 hours after I had started because I had to go actually go pick up my kids, come back home, and before I made dinner, I was trying to finish this game up, while also like dealing with them and getting them set up to play and stuff. So, yeah, I was getting really lost. So sorry, all the details are mumble jumbled. I don't know why I took this picture, but something about something. I don't know. I think because I used command points to save people. I have no idea. This shot again for some reason. And this is the final turn. I don't even really finish the game, just because I had to get dinner started and I needed the kitchen. The barbarians end up going first, and they do a bunch of charges. You can see a bunch of charges in. The giant had followed through on the mammoth the previous turn, so he's charging in, but warriors come into his flank. Warriors go into the archer unit. The bison riders, who are sitting on 1 morale, go into the archers. More warriors into the bolt thrower, the chieftain into the warrior unit, and then you can see all those hits. Lots of people are getting hit. Hits here, hits there, hits here, hits there. That's what it looks like. But there's one more thing. The shaman has enough points to do consuming rage again, and as you can see, this is all of the hits that get dealt all around. Everyone in the barbarian army gets another 3 hits. So as you can see, there's going to be a lot of death and destruction. With an army that only has 1 protection, there is a lot of death happening right now. That mammoth alone took 6 hits. Oh my gosh. Yeah, so thankfully I ended it here, but I think the barbarian army was going to be in a very, very bad place right now. With all those hits, the chieftain was going to fly, that mammoth was going to fly, the bison rider number 1 was going to fly, I think. Bison rider 2 was going to fly. So just a lot of units were going to be fleeing right now. So it was going to be the end of the barbarians, and I don't think they were going to do enough damage to survive. So that was going to be the end of the game anyway, and it was. So anyway, sorry about this being so long. I will make sure that my next one is shorter. I'll take good photos. I probably won't use the battle chronicler images like this, or maybe I'll use one, or I'll use less, but let me know what you think. Let me know how you feel about the different pictures and the different slides. I know I was not concise in my description, but I'm sure the next one will be, and if it is, let me know how you feel about that one. But let me know how you feel about this one. Let's make it under 30 minutes. So thanks for watching. Come back for more. This is Warband by Pendraken. Awesome fantasy game. Check it out. It's awesome. Thanks for watching. See you later. Bye.